good morning, and welcome to another edition of Talk That Tech. The
Number one tech morning show in the world, man. Good morning.
yes, yes, good morning, numero uno. We got Tech Coach Ralph in the building already. He said, "Good morning, fellas." So glad to have
What's
you
up?
on. This might be an episode you may want to jump on and call. Just gonna put a little disclaimer out there already. In fact, I'm gonna drop down that call link because it's a very interesting topic that we're gonna cover today, among other topics. But yeah, if you want, go ahead, click on here to call into the show because we're talking about a few different things and we're going to break that down. We'll get into that pretty soon. But yeah, I just wanted to make sure that I dropped that link because today might be the day that a lot of people might call in or some people might call in, but we'll see. And also drop down that banner for y'all. If you are brand new to the show, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe. Look at the ticket below to youtube.com/talk that tech show. That's youtube.com/talk that tech show. So we definitely want to make sure that we give y'all guys an opportunity to connect with us on the channel, right? So if you're watching this from any other source, know that we are going to be live on Talk That Tech Show on YouTube. But man, let's do our breakdown. And I'm asking the audience this as well. How was your weekend?
Bro, it was eventful. Like uh it was me and the baby rocking it again this weekend, man. So
Mhm.
uh just a whole lot of not a lot of anything really. Just at the house with her, making sure everything was squared away and good for her. But outside
Yeah.
of that, Sunday went to church, and my mom's birthday is coming up, so it had a little birthday deal for her as well.
Yeah.
So it was there all day after church. Um, got to catch the first game, and then some of the Chiefs while I was there and stuff. But yeah, man, that was the breakdown of my weekend. How about yours?
Well, before I get into it, I'm going to go to the comment section because Tech Coach
Oh
Ralph
yeah,
said he was busy. He was
yeah,
busy,
yeah.
still working now to catch up. And then he also mentioned, but finally got my app approved by
Hey,
Apple after 3 rounds of going back and
dang,
forth, back to back.
yo, that's awesome though.
And maybe we should talk about your app once the time is right on the
Uh
show,
huh.
so get people aware about what's going on in your neck of the woods. Tech Coach Ralph, we can definitely do that. But yeah, this week, like the radio station was focused on the family for me. He also said, "Happy birthday, Tech Bags Mom." Yeah, happy birthday to moms, man.
Thank you. Yeah,
Yeah, when you're with the family celebrating birthdays, that's a huge achievement. And
for
so right
sure.
and so right now we just want to give a shout out to Mama Dukes. Well, in this case, Mama Trey. But yeah, but yeah, in regards to my weekend, man, it wasn't anything crazy at all. Really, we had a great episode this past Saturday with a guest, Jennifer Wint, and she shared from her experience going through the Junior Olympics to now where she is working in tech, writing a book, how to train like an or how to interview like an Olympian. That's the title of the book. On Amazon, it's available if you want to get it. I purchased it as well. I'm gonna go read it pretty much throughout my week because it's one of those good things that she mentioned. Always be interviewing, always be doing your best to train and prepare so you're good to go. So yeah, that was my weekend. Besides that, I was like Chef Boyardee this weekend, man. I was looking at recipes, trying to cook for the family, and tried a couple of things: caramelized onion pasta, a different way to make chicken parm, and then there's like one pot rice with mushrooms and chicken and all sorts of fancy stuff. I'm
Oh
not
yeah, you was
sure
you
about.
was getting you was getting to it.
Yeah, I was trying to. Only thing I didn't do was dessert, but I was trying to make something happen in the kitchen this weekend. So,
Oh,
but
you
yeah,
was getting to it.
yeah, man. I mean, I used to cook a lot more when I was younger, but yeah, things have changed, and now I'm like, I gotta get back to that, just for the sake of the fam. So that was it for me this weekend. Pretty chill. Kids were sick about probably a week and a half on and off. So that was kind of like the focus there. But
Mm.
yeah, that was a weekend in a nutshell. But yeah, so listen, y'all, thank you so much for again rocking with us here. And it's funny because you sent me something and I was like, oh, this might be a good topic to open up with. I was gonna say, uh, would you, buy the TikTok phone? I don't know if you guys are familiar with it, but the TikTok phone is out, and in fact, I don't know if you got if you were you sent it to me. What did you hear about the TikTok phone or anything extra about it? But I wanted to kind of throw that question to the audience, like, would you buy the TikTok phone if you are familiar with what it is?
That's hilarious.
Yeah, but for me
I mean,
personally, yeah, go ahead.
oh, go ahead. No, go ahead. My bad.
No, you're good. You're good. You're good. I was just gonna put the question up for everybody.
So, well, I mean, to be honest, most people probably still have it.
Yeah.
I think most people probably kept it on their phone. I think there was just like maybe it was a large amount of people who deleted the app right after it,
Hmm.
it went down, and then realized they didn't have access to it again. But nonetheless, I mean, on the market, these iPhone. If you got an old iPhone, I got an old iPhone. I'm like, I got a couple of them around here. I'm like, do I need to put mine on eBay? Do I need to sell an old iPhone and get a couple racks for that? Like 3, 5? Are they buying them like that? Just because it has the app on there? I think you can log out of your Apple ID and the apps and stuff are still on there. So yeah, I don't know. Apparently somebody's doing it, right? I mean, it's basically what they were saying is a list of different iPhones that and models that are selling like luxury items because of this app on the phone, which is crazy to me. So yeah, I don't know. I don't think like there are some crazy listings that was on there, but I don't think they'll go for that, right? Like
Yeah.
literally $10,000 and $4.5 million. Like those aren't gonna sell. But I mean, if you got it priced right, I think you can get some old iPhones off your hands for a way better price than Best Buy or anybody else. So I don't know. That's crazy though.
Yeah. Let me
Crazy
go to.
time we live in.
It is a crazy time we live in. Let me go in the comment section to Tech Coach Ralph. He says, "I don't even use TikTok to buy a TikTok phone. Laugh out loud."
Ain't that
Uh,
crazy?
yeah.
Ain't that crazy? Like that just that's what I was getting to. Like that shows you how addicted the society is at the like this is crazy.
It is. It is insane.
Like that's real fiendish right there.
I mean, come on. If the
Real pooky-ish right there.
if the dopamine fit hits, if the dopamine hit fits, yeah, that's a lot. That's hard to say fast. But Operation Take Over says, "Peace and blessings, family. Welcome you in the building. Yes, sir. So glad to have you, man. So glad to have you. Now, in regards to the TikTok phone, I didn't take it. I didn't take the app off my phone. But I guess some people, if they were making money, they may pay you for a little change and try to get back on there. But yeah, that's very interesting, man. That's very interesting to hear and see that people are actually thinking about that. I mean, you can monetize anything these days.
Oh,
So
that's a
this
fact.
is so literally access to the app is a
I
way
seen
that
it.
you
Way off topic. I seen a dude monetize it. He sells himself as a best friend to people, make like $80,000 a year, just going around being people's best friend for a day and stuff.
I need to
Like
find out how that works.
like he
Like
literally sits in like like I think there was a movie that showed this kind of stuff, but like he goes to like he was an Asian guy. He'll go to events with you or just like have lunch and stuff, like
I seen
talking.
him, yeah.
I'm like, what in the world? This is crazy. You can monetize anything.
That just shows how lonely people are, man.
Society, yeah, bro.
Seriously. I know one thing that kind of threw me off. So a similar. I was gonna say a hustle, but it's not a hustle, but like a similar gig was cuddling. I didn't know that there are people that would pay for you to lie down
that's
next to them and
bro.
cuddle.
That's hilarious.
There's layers to it. I can't go into the details right now in my
Oh
head,
snap!
but I'm just saying, like, wow, like there's like you could monetize so many different things. So your lunch
A
break,
professional cuddler.
professional cuddler. Yeah, you lie down and then This person comes behind you and it just holds you tight,
bro.
rocking you for that hour,
Ain't
making you
no way.
feel wonderful, and then you go back to work, and you pay them what you pay them. I don't think insurance covers that.
Nah,
Tech Coach Ralph said,
nah.
"How much for your phone, Joseph? Right now, there's no price on it. My phone is staying with me. I only have one for right now. I have a bunch of old banged up iPhones, or two of them at least. I don't think any of them have TikTok on it.
Yeah, that's what I was just thinking. You know, like I was saying, like, yo, I got a couple iPhones I could sell. The only problem is neither one of like none of them got TikTok because I didn't even used to download it before.
Yeah,
Like,
for this phone."
bro, it's crazy. Yeah, so I was just thinking, I can't even profit off of it.
Tech Coach Rob, I told you about that in confidence. Which one? The best friend one, the snuggler one? Which one did you tell
Oh
me in
no.
confidence? Oh man. Well, listen, y'all.
So
We're gonna get. I know we're talking and we're playing around here, but we're gonna get into the show, y'all. Don't worry. Don't go away anywhere. We're gonna get to the show. But what we're gonna say before we go transition.
nothing. I was about to mess with Tech Coach Ralph.
Professional cuddler. Oh, okay. Well, I get a professional cuddle every time for my wife for free. In fact, she enjoys that. So that
Yeah.
works out for everybody. If you got a significant other, save your coins. But Perplexity is not planning to save their coins. They're actually trying to get into the bid with actually merging with TikTok there. So let's talk about that for a second as we transition over to the show. So let's talk about it.
Yeah, bro. Perplexity. They revised the bid to get in on TikTok's action. Okay, so basically showed a plan to merge with TikTok, proposing that deal would not only address the regulatory concerns that everybody has, but it's also going to revolutionize both of the companies, right? Obviously, adding that AI component to TikTok would be crazy, and then TikTok's already huge, so just Perplexity is big, but I mean, adding TikTok that'll change the game for them as well. Here's the proposal, though. It includes that government involvement. Always. Like, obviously, I don't want to get us like banned or nothing like that. So I don't. I'll stay off of all the conspiracies and stuff. But here's what I say, y'all: don't ever get too big. Tech Coach Route, I know you work on these apps. I know you got these huge. Don't get too big, because when you get too big, you start working for the government. It has to happen. It's just my firm. I believe it. Like, I believe all these companies are working with the government. Meta, all of them. Like, once you get to a certain size, you have no choice. And so, anyways, they just put it out up front. So, Perplexity, they said, hey, it's going to include a unique government involvement, which again, I already knew. And it has the potential to just reshape the stuff that's going on right now. So, anyways, the initial proposal, they made one on January 18th. And basically they gave that bid to ByteDance, and they said, hey, let's create a combined entity involving Perplexity, TikTok, US, and then new equity partners. And then it would allow ByteDance investors, which ByteDance is the owner of TikTok, to continue to keep their equity stake, which, hey, that's awesome. And then it's going to leverage TikTok's video content to enhance Perplexity's capabilities, which is pretty cool. That was the original one. Then they had to double back and they revised it, right, on yesterday, actually. So yesterday, here's what they said: a new holding company. So a US based entity called Newco. Very, very intuitive there. They took some time on that one. A new company called Newco would be established. ByteDance would transfer TikTok US to Newco, excluding its recommendation algorithm. Obviously, that's the only way it's happening, if they can keep their algorithm. The equity structure. Okay, equity structure: TikTok investors still receiving stake in Newco, and Perplexity AI investors would exchange shares for ownership in the new company. Number 3, government ownership. The US government could acquire up to 50% ownership of Newco following the future IPO. So when they go public, the government, they can get up to half. We want half, Eddie. And then number 4, valuation and IPO terms. The deal estimated value exceeds 50 billion. Contingents on investor participation. Government ownership would depend on an IPO valuation of at least 300 billion. So basically, if the valuation went up to 300 billion, then the government could get half. If not, then it would be less than that. And then lastly, funding. A merger would involve new party capital, mutually agreed upon by stakeholders. So obviously, this is a strategic move that Perplexity is trying to come up with here. They're trying to make it happen. So benefits for us, basically, we would get enhanced content discovery and AI-driven personalization. So, all the stuff that has been on TikTok would now be, you'd be able to pull it up on Perplexity and stuff. Probably vice versa for Perplexity. I'm tripping. It would get strengthened competitive positioning and accelerated growth. So obviously, like I said, they would definitely get the benefit from TikTok. And then TikTok is just be able to continue to operate in the U.S. Under this new regulatory structure. So, and then obviously the government gonna get some. They obviously are going to. So they would be able to get involved into a big money tech company enterprise, and that would help them. So, anyways, they literally just did this yesterday. So we'll see what happens. Obviously, I think it's a big goose egg that's going to come out of that. It's not enough incentive for TikTok, I think. I don't know. Who knows? It may happen, but I don't think so.
Yeah, it's funny. I'm going to go to the comment section first, but I
Mm-hmm.
see Techless Ralph said 50%? Question mark,
That's
question
crazy.
mark, question mark. And yeah, I also, he mentioned that good, he's talking to Mitch. Mitch said we don't care. He said, good morning. We do care about you growing your app to be a big thing. And then he also mentioned, Techless Ralph said, it's funny how TikTok is getting banned for Chinese spying, but Perplexity is willing to buy it for US spying. Yeah, well, listen here. I know that it definitely favors Perplexity in this deal for sure. Obviously, the U.S. government's gonna get their lick as well. But if you think about it as you're talking, the younger generation, what do they use TikTok for mostly? To get their news, research, search, everything. That's like their Google in a way. And so when it comes to Perplexity being able to get in on that, it's going to obviously drive traction to Perplexity, and it's going to help refine their search. Who knows? Maybe you go right to TikTok and you say, explain what it is. And not only do you get videos that pop up, but you get a tailor-made explanation for what it is that you're looking for. So now their source of truth is going to be TikTok more than anything ever before. May not even leave the app. So I think that is definitely something that Perplexity, U.S. government, I think everybody else besides ByteDance, is going to have the best from this partnership. 50% is a lot, but 50% of something versus 100% of nothing is the difference there. So we'll see how that looks and turns out to be, because again, that is something that I think is significant to talk about in this conversation. I mean, TikTok has been restored because of what was said by our new President Trump, and so we'll see. Tech Coach Ralph says source of truth would be the feds. so yeah, that's the. And let me ask this to the audience right now. Would that deter you from using the app if you know that now the United States government has a piece of the pie? Would that deter you from using the app? For a lot of people, I don't think it would, because as we talked about
I was about to
before,
say it
they
shouldn't.
they buy phones, right? They
I
buy
mean,
phones.
they already in all the other ones.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. They're like, can I get a rib? That's how it kind of feels right
Bro,
now. Just a rib. I just want a rib.
man, they getting in on it all. So that's the only thing, you get super big, they coming for it.
Yeah.
They got to get a piece. They got to be able to get in.
Tech Coach Rouse says, at least lie to me. At least, if you can.
Yeah, that's
Tell me
Uh-uh.
lies, tell me sweet little lies. Whatever it can do.
Uh-uh. They done with that. Hey, we're gonna put it out in the open. See if you miss it. If you miss it, cool. If you don't, cool. We still
Yeah.
going forward.
Yeah, exactly. Well, listen, y'all. If y'all are on Instagram, oh, we got it's Prince here. What up, Prince from Nigeria here on Instagram. Thank you so much for watching and staying connected with us here on Instagram. And those that
Appreciate
are
that.
on YouTube, we appreciate you. I don't know where you're streaming in from, but if you want to stream into and comment on the show, we definitely are going live on YouTube, like I mentioned earlier. In fact, I'm going to drop that link uno más one more time for y'all. And that is going to be if you want to call into the show, let us know your thoughts. Feel free to do so. The link is dropped down below. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel at youtube.com/at Tech Niche Tips. Now, I'm going to move on to another segment that I know all of y'all love, and it's basically our new Tech Wire. So, Tech Wire is an opportunity for you to be able to listen and hear about upcoming tech events that are probably going to be in your neck of the woods. It won't be long, so let's go through them real quickly here. We have today, it's happening actually in Atlanta, Georgia, a city tech talk, data security, fintech mixer. Then we have tomorrow, the Wonder Tech Fest 25. That's virtually $100 for that, but check it out for yourself. A lot of good things going on there. Then the National Society of Black Engineers in Boston, Autodesk SaaS virtual training. That's $0 for that training. So check that out January 29th, which is going to be this Wednesday. And also on Wednesday, we have Black Tech Week in Dayton, a meetup there for $0. January 3rd, Mixer right there in Dallas, Texas, that you can check out for $20. February 1st, we have Black Tech Saturdays meetup. That's in Detroit, Michigan. We have also Network 216 Midtown Tech Hive Mixer in Cleveland. That is also $0. So check that out. Then February 7th, we had the Connect Like-Minded BHM Mixer in Philadelphia. February 8th, Birmingham Black Male Summit 25 in Birmingham, Alabama. And then we have a few other events as well. HBC University that day, that's $20 for that. National Sales Network kickoff. So if you're in a sales game, Fort Lauderdale, Florida is having an event for $60. Orlando's also having something on the 19th, Black Tech Orlando Python for beginners. That's $0 in Orlando, Florida. Now, you might say to yourself, that is a lot. I can't memorize it all. No worries.
Whole
Go
lot.
to blacktechglobal.com for more. Again, it's blacktechglobal.com for more so you can see the entire list of events that are coming down the pipeline and what could possibly be in your neck of the woods. So, one more time, that is blacktechglobal.com for more. So, check that out for yourself and have a great one. So, before we dive into the next topic, y'all, that I just want to throw it out there. We normally have AI topic of the week. That's a new segment that we started this year. And that segment is a lot of fun because we're talking about different tools that we might be using, that we might have experience with, that we want to share with you. Now, this AI tech, this one is going to be a little bit different because this is just a topic that has blown up over the past couple of weeks. And those that are in the game probably knew about it a bit longer than that, but it's specifically about DeepSeek. And so, with that, I'm going to pass it over to Trey to talk a little bit more, and we're going to dive into that story about DeepSeek and the impact, potential impact it can have in the AI industry.
Oh man. Yeah, I didn't know this was gonna be the whole thing. But yeah, so basically, y'all, DeepSeek, if you haven't heard about it yet, um, it's I mean it's coming. If you haven't, it'll be here in your we're your first one. We're the first ones to let you know if you haven't. But yeah, basically, like Joseph said, they started in 2023, like when they first came together, but just recently they've made some crazy changes and made some big waves across tech in a really short time frame. So
Very short.
basically, this is a Chinese AI company renowned for its work in the open source large language model space. So
Yeah.
aka, the stuff that you use, maybe using Chat GPT, right? Claude, Perplexity that we were just talking about, right? All of those. Well, this is DeepSeek. And DeepSeek, here's what they did. They opened it up They opened it up. Okay, this is an open source model, and yeah, it's just it's everything that Chat GPT said they were going to be. I'm just gonna put it like that. So I don't know if y'all
Man.
remember. Maybe y'all do. When ChatGPT they first came out, they were like, you know what? This is open source, and we believe that this type of technology should be open for everyone to be able to use and be creative and all that stuff. And
Yep.
then they changed their mind. Somebody said, you know what?
Well,
It's money to be made,
the getting is
and we
good.
gonna get it. Okay, we gonna get it. And so they switched it up on us. Okay, but here's what DeepSeek did with not only way less money, but with I don't know if y'all remember, but also it's hard to get chips over and get chips moving around
Yeah,
with
from the
with
US
with
over there.
yeah, with the worst chips and less money, they were able to build something just as comfortable and in certain spots higher than ChatGPT and Claude and all the stuff that's been out that did. They spent billions of dollars. Guess what? Yeah, like I can't remember what it was. 20, no, 60 some $billion or something like that. Guess what? They did it with 6 billion. So they with what they did with less, they were able to just break the internet basically, because with all this time, OpenAI, they've been telling us that they needed all this stuff and all this money, and then they came and did it with way less. I don't know,
Oh
y'all.
man, so much less.
I don't know. A stock might be going down. I'm not going to say it, but anyway, uh, anyway, here's what DeepSeek has done. All right, and by the way, it is. I think I said it. It's open source, so you can literally go to DeepSeek and literally, you can just start typing. Like you just sign in with Google, and then you're good to go. Or your email or your phone number. Not necessarily wouldn't do that. I don't think you can. You have to be a Chinese number, but your email is just as fine, and you can get going instantly. Like that's all you need. You don't have to worry about paying or anything like that. But anyway, back to it. So DeepSeek, here's what we know right now. January, they have a DeepSeek R1 and R10, and this is enhanced reasoning capabilities based on their V3 base model. Okay. And so when it comes to performance and cost, like this is the best part. So y'all remember what I told y'all. You think that if they made it with less money and it's just as comfortable or better than the stuff that's already out here on the market that we've been dealing with, that they probably would cost more, like on the back end to do the different um
Yeah.
tasks and stuff, right? Well, actually, no. Here's another reason why it's crazier. All right. So it is 27 times cheaper to run these tasks on
Yeah.
DeepSeek than ChatGPT. All right. So basically, y'all, and what that means is if you had to pay, I can't remember ChatGPT's numbers. Just know that I don't know. If we can pull it up, I will. But just know it's way cheaper to run in the background. Like if you're working with different other platforms that you need to plug these into, right? Like ChatGPT or whatever, so that they can run your whatever you're trying to do. It's gonna cost you way, way, way less to use this. But anyways, as far as the benchmarks, so DeepSeek, they match the capabilities of ChatGPT 4.0 and Claude 3.5 Sonnet while outperforming the Llama 3.1 and the Quinn 2.5. Now, the accuracy was 79.8% accuracy and 97.3 on the math. So
Sheesh.
it was crazy. And if you would have saw the charts, it's like
Yeah.
it's not the same. It's not the same when it comes to the math. The scalability. All right. So 32 billion parameter variant is operable on consumer grade hardware. So all that means, y'all, is you can literally use it on a 24 gigabyte RAM computer. Like it's good. You're good. You don't need nothing crazy to operate this as well. So I mean, out of all the stuff, it really just came out and it changed the game. As far as the cost, that's the main thing, right? Because you got people who they're building businesses behind these companies, or behind, like, on the backs of these companies. And every time someone uses it, like if you have a business and you built it on there, every time somebody uses it, it's costing you. So if you can plug something in, it's going to bring your cost down 27 times. Like, I don't know, you're probably going to do it. I'd be interested to see how many companies are going to switch out that the back model to DeepSeek. I've seen multiple people trying it out and like working on it just to see how it works. It's pretty comfortable. Like, it I don't know. It literally looks like you changed the name, and it's working just like the other ones. I also tried it last night as well myself. So, anyways, against Google Gemini, it focused on user friendliness while maintaining analytical robustness. Against OpenAI, DeepSeek's rival O1 in mathematics and reasoning, but trails slightly in advance reasoning and structured outputs. So when it comes to mathematics and reasoning, it was right on par. Right behind when it comes to the advanced reasoning, and then just having to get those structured pieces in, it was like right behind it. But anyways, that's not what they're about. The open source piece is what they're about. And so their whole thing is championing accessibility through the open source space. So, these models are released under the MIT license, enabling researchers and developers to check it out and innovate without barriers. And then this approach also positions DeepSeek as a disruptor, like I said, and it's democratizing the access to this cutting edge AI technology. So yeah, it's gonna be crazy to see what happens here, like, soon. I just want to see if people are going to be switching over and checking it out and doing it. Obviously, ChatGPT has a huge they have a huge piece of the market. So I don't think people will leave, but I think users will go, like I did. Like, I'm checking it out, but that doesn't mean I'm leaving my other spots, right? They have their place. I need to see some more. And just imagine if they can get a hold to the crazier chips, right? If they can get a hold to the big boy chips, wow, I don't know. Stuff could change quick. So, anyways, they obviously, in a recent time, like quick period of time, they've gotten global attention, and it's raising questions in the U.S. Like, are we really gonna lead AI? That's a heavy question, because we know some things just got signed, or so that we could here in the U.S. be the leaders in AI, and then boom, they pop out with this real quick, and it's real good. So I don't know. We could see. Anyways, the deliver cost effectiveness, awesome. High performing models that challenge the efficiency of resource heavy AI development strategies by the other players is crazy. So we're gonna see. I don't know. Like, remember, y'all,
Yeah, man.
they're spending a lot of money a year.
Yeah,
Open AI, they're spending a lot of money. So
they are.
they changing the game.
Yeah, man. I'm gonna go to the comment section real quickly before I
Yeah,
do
run
this,
in there.
because I saw that Tech Coach Rouse said I made an AI song this weekend called "Where's My Money," talking about his app, and I said, yeah, in Rihanna's voice, he probably singing that. But he also mentioned that using
That's
Open
copyrighted.
AI, yeah, right, you get yourself in trouble. Oh, using Open AI API is pennies on the dollar and can use some super customized. It might have to check the DeepSeek this week. Listen, bro, when we were doing research on this yesterday, literally the price tag, and I'm gonna talk the numbers real quickly. Let's just put it in comparison, right? So it took, ChatGPT, we know they've been around for a while, right? It is estimated that they spent somewhere between 1.7 billion or to 2.5 billion, according to Gemini, right? Another research there. According to our research, DeepSeek, the newest model, right? 55 days to make this, by the way. 55 days estimated.
That's huge.
5.58, almost $6 million only. and what the process, and I understood the process, what they did was they did a process called distillation, where they take a large model that's already built and they basically use the large model to train their model, the smaller model. So that's how come they were able to do it so quickly. So it was one of those things that was said in the research that we did was like, just be very careful establishing yourself as a leader right away, because in this AI race, you could get trumped real quickly. You could
Real
get
quick.
smoked real quickly. And that in fact, Google was the first one or one of the first ones to really kind of pioneer this AI model thing, but they didn't productize it like ChatGPT, OpenAI did with ChatGPT.
Yeah.
And so now this is like almost becoming the next evolution where, okay, what they said they're going to do, open source it. Now DeepSeek decided to do this. Let me share this real quickly with y'all. Actually, let me go to the comment
Show
section
it.
and go back to this. So the problem with the numbers is that people who set the foundation makes it cheaper and faster for newcomers. Exactly. So who knows what's going to happen a month or 2 months from now? There might be something else that's out there that's like, hey, we just spent $500,000 to get this running, and we did it in 12 days. Like, we don't know, but this is one thing I wanted to show, because this is the graph that that Tech Bag Trey was talking about here. This is from DeepSeek's Twitter account. So I just wanted to put up here just so y'all could see this. And I'm going to take the banner down so you could actually see the names here. But as you can see, this is themselves comparing the performance.
And they're in the blue.
Others. And
The
you can look at the
blue.
top there. Yeah, you see the top, you see the name DeepSeek, OpenAI, another DeepSeek model, and this is the reasoning model. So Reason 1, right? OpenAI, DeepSeek, and they're comparing it and how it performed. And as you can see, the blue lines with the lines in it are their performance compared. And as you can see, they're pretty up there. They say, DeepSeek R1 is here, performance on par with OpenAI 01 or 01. Fully open source model and technical report, MIT licensed, distilled, and commercialized freely. So they got the link ready to go. They're trying to show where they stack up against the competition, and specifically OpenAI. So
Yeah.
they
They're
coming
right
for
there.
them.
They're right
coming for
there.
them. Yeah.
In less time, way, way, way less money. And
Yeah.
just imagine the payroll at OpenAI. Imagine the payroll at OpenAI.
Mm-hmm. And Google CEO said themselves, like, this is super impressive. Perplexity's co-founder said the same thing. Like, man,
They
this
ain't
is
had no choice.
they all had to bow their cap to this, and so that shows you that this is a game changer for sure. Let's go to the comment section here. Technical Drought says plasma TVs used to be 4K for 32 inches. Absolutely. How much are they now in Walmart? What, $200, 300?
That's it.
Maybe cheaper
That's
than
it,
that.
boy.
I haven't bought one, so I don't know. I
You
use
can get
projectors now.
you
So
can get a
that's
75-inch LED for 600. Yeah. Yeah.
for 600. Yeah. So you get these huge things that, so the technology is advancing at the speed of light. And this is a great example of that. This is an awesome, really powerful example of that. And let me see what Tech Coach Ralph said here as well. It's fire, right? Look at this. These numbers, people lie, but numbers don't. So
No.
to compare this and to see what's out there is pretty impressive. I don't know if they have another graph here to show, but that is the numbers that you were talking about before, and you might not be able to see it. Might be kind of tiny, but definitely get a chance to check that out. You can even go to their Twitter page, at DeepSeek's Twitter page, and see the graph for yourself. But man, looking at this, it's pretty impressive. Pretty impressive. If they're not leading a category, they're right there neck and neck in that category.
Yeah.
So this probably with GPQA Diamond, a little bit different, like, a little bit above, but everything else is like right there. So the R1 is the latest model, Reason 1. And so yeah, I'd love to hear your guys' thoughts. If you want to call into the show, feel free to call into the show. I'm going to drop that link one more time for y'all. If you missed it out, but there's a call-in link so you can call into the show and share your thoughts about this. What is the potential impact? Do you think you're going to try to use a model for yourself? Are you scared to use a model? Because that's one of the things I was going to say. Should we worry about DeepSeek? Should I be concerned? Because here's the thing, like was mentioned earlier as well. There was placed this ban apparently that they couldn't get chips like NVIDIA chips and things of that nature. So they decided to use old NVIDIA chips that they already had and build it off of that. So if they're using old chips and they're doing this with what they got, imagine if they did have if the lab DeepSeek, because DeepSeek is the lab that created DeepSeek R1. If that lab was able to get hold of the chips that Nvidia has or others, what potential outcome could that be? Should we be worried? I don't know. I want to hear from you. So let us know in the comment section below, or feel free to call into the show.
I don't know either. Are they going? I don't know. I'm torn because I'm like,
Yeah.
are they gonna stop getting their clothes from China? Are they gonna
Nope.
are they scared of getting their clothes from China?
Probably put what is that, tariffs on it, but nope, nope.
What else? What else comes from there? I don't know.
A lot of
I
things.
exactly.
A lot of things.
That's what I'm getting at. Like, sometimes we can focus so much on certain aspects of stuff, but we forget to look at the whole scope. Like,
Mm-hmm.
there are people who put barriers and all this stuff on you, and then you look up and you're like, wait, but if I do this, then that you got to change the whole thing, and you ain't changed your whole, like, you still doing some stuff. So
Mm-hmm.
what's going on here? You got to change the whole thing. And I'm telling you, you'd be walking around here in uh, potato sacks, I guess.
Yeah, no, I totally hear it, and listen, y'all. When we go to the comment section again, because Tech Coach Ralph says, Mitch numbers manipulate, and Mitch responds, LOL. Tech Coach Ralph also says, my Timu desk and gaming chairs are fire.
Yeah, yeah.
Timu. Yeah, no, my wife wants to swear by it. So she,
By Timu.
yeah, I
Yeah,
had to put
yeah.
a pause on these deliveries. I'm like, listen, there's just deliveries that are coming. Like we are FedEx or we're like a UPS return center. We got to
Golly.
talk about this. But but we worked it out. But yeah, man, listen, there's a lot that we could talk about that subject. You know what? This might be a series because this is definitely a hot topic. So if there's some things you want to take back home and think about it, feel free to think about it, and we'll talk about it possibly next week or even upcoming weeks that this show is that we're gonna be running the show. And listen, y'all, I see that there are multiple people watching this. Thank you guys for watching this on the channel for sure. And that she said I've had the same convo. Oh yes, no more FedEx centers here, right? No more UPS return centers here.
See, I think I'm winning. My wife she haven't really found out about it. Like, I think she know about it, but she haven't really tested it out.
Yeah,
So
no,
I'm
yeah,
winning in that category right now.
no, you definitely
Although,
you're king of your castle.
although I don't know, although this past Christmas, somebody got my daughter like a few outfits from there, and I'm not gonna lie, I was like, oh, this is fire. Like, had the little hoodie with the jogger set. It's like this big with I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah,
So I don't know. I don't
styling and
know.
profiling.
We'll see. I'm still winning at the moment, though.
Yeah, he's a styling and profiling, as Walt Frazier would say. And Tech Coach Rob beat me to the punch. I was gonna say, if you like the content, go ahead and like it for real. Go ahead and click that thumbs
Yep.
up button. And most importantly, we want to get these subscribers up to at least 1,000 um, as soon as possible. I'm thinking we could do it in 3 months, right? So if you guys can help us get to that $1,000 mark or that 1,000K mark, that would be huge. So appreciate you guys for supporting the channel. And if you are not subscribed and just watching, go ahead and click subscribe because we'll be talking about this for a while. You don't want to miss out, so go ahead and do that. Last thing I'm going to say before we move on to the next segment, Tech Coach Ralph says, Trey, you're ordering from Timo through the Amazon middleman and paying more.
Dang, is that
Yeah,
real?
that
Ah,
people are using Amazon as the seller store for people that don't go on Timo. So to a
that's
degree,
that's smart. That's smart. Well, you know what? I'm going to Timu. I'm about to see. I'm about to see.
Hey man,
Like,
Timo's a technology company too, so we can probably talk about it.
we probably need to. I need to see them. Let me see them numbers.
Let's see them numbers. Oh yeah, and then Operation Tech Takeover says it's gonna be the next thing to get banned. Are they going to say that China is stealing your information from this too? That's another thing too.
It's the whole thing, right? Like that.
Yeah.
that's basically what I was getting at, OTTO. Like that's basically what I was getting at. It's like, sometimes we follow the government like blind sheep, and we don't zoom out and see the whole scope. Like, wait a minute, if we getting all this other stuff, are they not stealing it there as well? Like, why is it just this tech company
Yeah.
that's taking over society? Like, why is it just this one?
Mm-hmm.
Like, so that sometimes that's that reasoning and that thinking that we have to try and do as well, so that we can kind of make sense of some of this stuff. Because yeah, it's just one of those things. Like, so we getting everything else from here, but this is the only space that they're stealing the information from. Okay, I'll take
Mm-hmm.
my chances. I guess. Or just hide your info and freeze your Innovis and your Experian and all that stuff. Freeze it up and then go do your thing. Get the prepaid debit cards and go in. Do that if you're scared about it.
Mm. Yeah, no, I definitely hear that for sure, and I think that, hey, we're we're barking in a whole new world here in regards to the privacy and all the different things that are occurring with that. And Finestro mentioned, I wonder what server DeepSeek is operating under. That's the company to watch and invest on or get stock in.
Yeah,
What up, Finestro? By the way, that's my producer right there, my music producer.
that's a
Susan
great
Tech.
question right there, man.
Yeah, like what server
Um,
are they
like
using?
like like that's the other side of it, bro. I'm glad he mentioned that. Like, I'll be on the lookout for that kind of stuff as well, right? Because sometimes these larger stocks, they can kind of get out of not out of hand. Like, yeah, they can get up there, right? So you can't get as much of it. But if you can find like the underlying, like for the what was it, for the chips, you got micro strategies, right? MSTR with micro strategies. Like, that's one that literally, all right, so you like Nvidia, you might not be able to pay Nvidia prices, but MSTR is prime for the taking, and they are they're the backbone. So it's like, I
Mm-hmm.
like that thinking, bro. I like that thinking. I like that.
Yeah, and then just a quick search here. I know that again they're using a lot high performing servers according to Perplexity and GPUs for AI model training and deployment. The company operates a cluster of approximately 50,000 NVIDIA H800 GPUs. But that
Mm.
still doesn't show who it is. Maybe they have their own servers, but we'll have to dive deeper into that and talk about that for sure next week. Also, Ty's in the building. I said, it'll be tough to ban something open source. There're going to be a thousand of versions floating across the internet, and I think
Mm-hmm.
that's what they're looking for. It almost reminds me of the LimeWire days when they're trying to crack down on LimeWire, and everybody's like grabbing it from here and there, all over all over the world. So, yep, I think it's going to be a wild, wild west out here if it's not already. But it's probably going to get worse. Then
Yep.
also, Financial says also the AI agents construction is the next move. Automation galore. Yeah, automation is it's definitely happening in various areas already for sure.
It's already happening.
Yeah, we see it happening a lot, and so
Shout out to my AI automation company.
yeah,
Coming
it's
soon.
good. I know we got to talk to Techless Ralph. Get that going. But yeah, no, and
It's already going. Ralph,
OTT
what?
says,
Ralph, hit me. I got some stuff I need built. I
yeah.
need you to help me build it on make.com.
And then OTTO says, what you know about those green dot cards?
I don't know nothing.
I don't know nothing, right? Dollar cost average as well. And then
That's true.
yeah, yeah. And then also Finestro mentioned cause who controls the server and investments, who owns the stock, former senators is the place to I guess former senators is the place to watch, and possible acquisition. Also looking at Nvidia, they'll partner like Honda and Toyota. This is interesting. Definitely want to see how this story unfolds. But listen, y'all, we also take opportunities to hear from y'all. So if y'all are connected with us on LinkedIn, definitely do that. In fact, I'm gonna give a shout out to the man himself. At least from my point of view, he exposed me to the conversation, which was Ty Smith. So like people reach out to us all the time to give us information, things they find, so we could talk about it. So do that. If you are connected with us on LinkedIn, go ahead and do that. If you're not, go down to the description for one of our videos. It should be there, and you can connect with us there. But also just go ahead and subscribe to the channel so you can jump on. And if you put something in the chat that you're like, hey, have you heard about this? And we have not, we will definitely talk about it together. Like I said, I love this convo. Yeah, appreciate it, man. Thank you so much for rocking with us and giving that insight, brother. Finestro and everything you do, man. I appreciate you. I gotta call you this week, so I will. I do. But man, yeah, let's definitely continue the conversation here. And so I'm going to keep the show going, but we're going to talk about this topic at another time. We're going to continue having this conversation. In fact, this might actually be for us a theme or a motif. I'm going to call it a series. That makes more sense. A series that we're going to dive into deeper. But this came up when I was going through LinkedIn, and it's about unlimited PTO being problematic. I'm like, for who? And so I just want to talk about it real quickly, and then we're gonna get the show wrapping up pretty soon. Again, subscribe so you don't miss anything out here. But the double-edged sword of unlimited PTO. So that was basically what popped up. And so they said unlimited PTO, as enticing the concept as it is, yes, it is enticing, granting employees the freedom to take time as needed without rigid limits. However, the implementation of it often uncovers significant challenges for both employers and employees. Now, I kind of agree with that. Below is a breakdown of the pros and cons of this particular practice, and I have some notes here. But I want to stop here and say, listen, what are like some of the things that you have experienced when you're like, hey, I got a limited PTO, I love it, I'm gonna take advantage of it right now. What situations arise in your neck of the woods? Because I'll talk about mine soon. But it's supposed to provide flexibility and trust, right? It's supposed to give you time that if you need it, you can take it off. And the trust from both the employer and the employee that, hey, I'm going to do my job. I'm not going to abuse this, but I'm going to use it, right? Increased job satisfaction is supposed to be a result of a limited PTO. Mental health boost, obviously, if you need a mental health day, listen, I can't come in today. I'm going to take it off. Recruitment appeal, because people want to know, hey, if I go to this company, they have that, I could basically utilize it as I choose. Underutilization is a big thing I've seen all across the board, where it's like we have a limited PTO, but I feel guilty of using it, or I feel like I got to do X, Y, and Z, and so I'm not going to use it, as well as the ambiguity of it saying like, hey, you say I have a limited PTO, but you're telling me that I can't take off time because you need me here for something. Something that I've experienced as well. And then managerial bias. So some people might get more PTO requests accepted and approved versus other people. Compliance issues. Yeah, that's another thing that comes up as well, depending on your industry. Cultural misalignment. So there might be some things you might want to take time for in your culture that other people may be like, that isn't valid. That's not a valid reason for taking time off. And then operational challenges. If everybody takes off at a certain period of time, then you gotta be like, well, you really can't take off because we need you here, because if you're not here, it's not gonna be able to run the ship well. So I could go on to list, but we could definitely have a conversation about that. I'm gonna go to the comment section real quickly, because Finestro says, does a limited PTO counteract with FMLA? That's a great question. That comes into play with the compliance issues, right? So a limited PTO can complicate adherence to mandatory leave laws like FMLA, ADA for disabilities, or paid sick times, potentially exposing employers to legal risk. So that is something that came up in the conversation as well. Recently, I had to take paternity leave, and I knew, even though I didn't say it, that if I was to like say, okay, I'm taking paternity leave and coming back and taking some more PTO right afterwards, that would be frowned upon, right? And it's almost like you have to know the dance. You have to kind of read the room when it comes to a limited PTO. But honestly, we should all be using it if we have it. I know one company I worked for, they went from unlimited PTO at first, but then there were reps that were like, oh, I hit my quota, and I hit it in here. And for that quarter, and I hit it like the first week. I'll see you in 2 months. I'll see you in 2 months. And so people were like, oh, this can't, like, because imagine the operation costs if that person stayed and actually did more the potential to actually close more deals and stuff like that. But the person's like,
Then
listen,
bro, then the
the,
the incentive has to be better. Like you
mm-hmm.
gotta sit down with that individual. Everybody is not like everybody's motivated by different stuff. So like you gotta. That's where knowing your employees and really taking the time to figure out what makes them, do what they do, and then you can move accordingly. Like there might be a certain subset of individuals who, hey, we got 2 slots for that. So the first 2 people who hit, then yeah, there might be an opportunity for you to just take off the rest of the quarter or the rest of whatever. After that, it's tiered, or maybe there's only 1 slot for that, right? Like set it up to where it's still, hey, there's parameters around that, but it still makes sense. Then maybe I don't know. I just think there is a space where that can happen, but it's still competitive and it still works. But anyway,
No, I agree. I think that and in fact, that same company decided to change the policy from unlimited PTO to what's called flex PTO or flex time, where basically it's like we'll let you go if you need to go, but you have to be flexible depending on what our business needs are, depending on what it is. We'll give you the time, but it has to make sense versus you just saying, nope, your policy says unlimited, so I'm taking that. I'm taking that. Because depending on the company, some reps would just hit their quota for the
get
month,
it done.
and if they get a really good deal, probably that they're not maxed out for like half the month, H1 or H2, and they're like, listen, I'm out. Jet setting. And so there's that delicate balance. But listen, if you work for yourself, you don't have to worry about that.
No.
If you have your own business, you don't have to worry about that. I mean,
That's why you need to start that AI automation company.
Yeah.
And get going.
Yeah, and then that's one thing that's true. Unlimited, flex, whatever it is, PTO, as Tech Coach Ralph says, is always subject to approval. At the end of the day, that's what it is. So, and I'm a person that normally don't take a lot of PTO off unless it's like sick or if it's like a special, like, okay, it's anniversary time or something like that. But I think what I'm going to try to do is try to find that delicate balance because you need to take time off. Um, and more, especially as we continue to transition. I would say into busier times. I don't know if that's a word I would use, but definitely something that you definitely need to take advantage of. So I would encourage anybody who does have PTO, unlimited or flex, definitely utilize it in a powerful way to make the best for yourself. Try to get it in as early as you can, those requests, and don't be like me and not use it at all, even if you got it.
I hear you. I'm the same way, bro. It's
Yeah.
it's tough.
Yeah.
I don't know. It shouldn't be, but like I think that's gonna sound ridiculous. I'm gonna go ahead and say it. Like sometimes, like I know people who like don't care at all. Like, yo, this is my time. I'm taking it. But I think I'll be like empathizing too much with like the other stuff that's going on around. Like, yo, if I'm off, then that mean they got to do more, or like. And so if I don't really have like if it is something like, oh, it would be a good rest day, I still won't do it. But I think I need to change that mindset. Like, you know what? It's set up for this. I need to take this time to recharge and then come back better. But yeah, I'm with you, bro. I'm in the same boat.
Yeah, I'm gonna go to Ty's comment here. He says, SHRM, which I believe is the Society for Human Resources Management, says that employees take an average of 16 days, and workers with regular PTO take an average of 14 days. So that shows you if that's a limited PTO is 16, and the
Yeah.
average that shows you that average is pretty close there. So
Yeah.
so are you maxing out that benefit? And ultimately, it comes down also to if you're performing well at work, then it's could
Yeah.
probably be easy. You might feel I'm gonna say you're performing well, but like if you're like blowing it out, and sales is different because sales, if you leave your job for a period of time, you kind of take a back step. Not of any of your choice, but because of the fact that that momentum is lost
Yeah.
sometimes. That's what can also discourage people in our industry from doing that. So So yeah, because your money's tied to it. Your commissions, everything is tied to that. So it kind of forces you to actually stay there. And and take Coach Rouse says I always work on my day off. Yeah, I try to have a 6 day work week. Saturday's my 6th day, and then Sunday's my rest. But yeah, no, I totally get that. Listen, y'all, this has been a great show. Like I said earlier, go ahead and like, comment, and subscribe to the channel. Also, if you are interested in finding out more, we are connected to Live Podcast Network. So definitely check out the Live Podcast Network for more information there. Go to alivepodcastnetwork.com and you can see all the other creators that are in the ecosystem. And we're about to leave, y'all, but before we do, I got a quick brown box special for you. And this is from from Giora, a 16, 17-year-old brought this in back in the day. And she said, when I was 16 or 17 years old, I was hired by a restaurant owned and managed by immigrants. One guy, the manager, had an extremely strong accent on maybe the second day, without my having done anything wrong that I thought I could have. He was animated, right? He told me X, right? And I was embarrassed, confused. So I hurt that I've been fired like that, but got my things and went home in tears. A few hours later, he called home and confused, spoke with my mother asking why I had left. And all he had done was send me out for eggs.
Oh my God.
And she thought that meant that she was fired.
X.
So yeah.
Oh, bro.
That is hilarious, in my opinion.
And also embarrassing again.
Yes, because you didn't take the time to understand. You didn't take the time to reason with him. You should have got one of those ear translators or whatever. I don't know. But it wasn't out at that time. But just a funny, I just thought it was a quick, funny story to kind of just echo the fact that sometimes things can get lost in translation. And it's always good to take time to understand, okay, what is that you're trying to say? Clear the air and then move on and have a good one. So words to live by as you go in. Yeah, if you go into your week. Oh man.
Get that clarity, y'all. Get that clarity.
Get the clarity. Get the clarity that you so need. And with that being said, y'all, thank you so much for rocking with us on this episode of Talk That Tech, the
#1 tech morning show in the world. We're gonna see y'all next week, baby.
Peace and elbow grease.